On today's show, the new duo, the boys are back. Nick Angstadt from Locked On Mavs. You got your boy Big Dave from Locked On Bulls. We are in talking about all kinds of games that happened in the NBA. Dirk Nowitzki's jersey was retired. I was there in person. We'll tell you all about it. Lots of games on the schedule, and we got a new game. We're calling it Count It Up. We're going to count up all the things that we saw in the NBA tonight and tell you how bad some teams were, how confident we are in certain things. A lot of stuff we'll get into. Nick Angstadt, Dave Watson on today's Locked On NBA. Let's go.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome. You are locked on to the NBA. My name is Nick Angstadt, host of the Locked On Mavericks podcast. And thanks for making Locked On NBA your first listen every single day. Remember, Locked On NBA is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube, where you can watch us right now. You can see my brand new Dirk jersey I just got at Dirk's jersey retirement. And you can see my friend Big Dave Watson from Locked On Bulls. Thanks so much for joining me. What you got for me, Dave Watson?
I have nothing but love and admiration. That's it. That's what I got. Because Dirk Nowitzki retired. You know he's in my top 5. I have nothing but love for the Diggler. That's my guy.
Take that with you, Dave. Lots of games on the schedule. Let's get right into it. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Golden State Warriors on Dirk's jersey retirement night. And for the Mavericks to schedule Dirk's jersey retirement on a day in January against the Golden State Warriors, who, when they scheduled this, or at least when they announced that they scheduled it, were the best team in the NBA and were just dominating, destroying everything. Let's do a little early preview. Count it up. How ballsy was this move from the Dallas Mavericks to schedule this game on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, this is a 9, a hard 9 right here. Because honestly, it could have went the way of what happened when they did Paul Pierce's retirement, and LeBron said, "Oh, you think this is going to be nice? This is about to sound like crickets in here, brother." So hey, man, it could have been real bad. But man, credit to the Mavs, they came out strong.
Credit to the Warriors. Steph Curry scored 5 points in the first half. He was just completely off the whole game. It just the Mavericks defense has stepped up as of late. They've held a lot of opponents under 100 points recently. The Mavericks held the Warriors to just 82 points in this game. Their lowest outing of the season. And the Warriors were healthy. The Mavericks were without Kristaps Porzingis, but they had everybody else. The Warriors were just without Klay Thompson, who's going to return soon. So the Mavericks get this win. It's the biggest win of the season for them, but overshadowed, rightly so, by Dirk Nowitzki. His jersey gets retired for the Dallas Mavericks. And I started thinking, as I was there, as I was seeing the orchestra, the drum line, the confetti, the lasers, the montages, the interviews, the people that were there, the guests, all the players that showed up for him. I started to think, and Adam Silver came up to the podium and he said, I've been to a lot of jersey retirements and I've not seen many like this.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, besides maybe like Michael Jordan for your team, the Bulls, is there a player out there that matters more to a franchise than Dirk? And maybe even you could put Dirk over Michael Jordan, right? That's what it got me thinking while watching Dirk's jersey like rise into the rafters and seeing the lengths that the Mavs went for him.
No, I mean, like when you think of the Mavericks, you immediately think of Dirk Nowitzki. That's it. That's just how it goes. He starts and he finishes it. The statue, I can't wait to see that also. I can't wait to see a full set.
Yeah, they unveiled some of that.
And then just on top of that, how about we put more of your stuff on the court for all time and everybody to see? How about we put your silhouette there? How about we put your name there? How about we put that banner up in the stands? Wasn't that cool too? I had never seen anybody press a button and drop the curtain down and that raise up either. That was new for me as well. They went all out.
There is a street named after Dirk right outside the stadium as well, Nowitzki Way. It's they've done it all up. And Steve Nash was in a video tribute to him, and he said, they got the street, they got the silhouette, now the jersey retirement, they're doing all this. It's a little much, Dirk. Which is hilarious because Dirk is just the thing that stood out to me about Dirk over the last couple of days, thinking about Dirk and thinking about this jersey retirement coming up, is just how humble of a person he is and just what an incredible human being Dirk was. There's many times covering the Mavs when I saw Dirk after a game the Mavs either lost or it was a tough game or he's dealing with injury. He's, late in his career, because I covered the Mavs recently. And there's a fan that came like all the way from China or all the way from somewhere, like all the way from a far state or something. And they just wanted to spend some time with Dirk. And Dirk gave them the time of day, right? And came out and surprised them. There's this one guy I remember from the Philippines, and they were out in the tunnel afterwards, and Mavs PR brings Dirk up to this guy, and the guy just like Kevin from Home Alone style puts his hands up on his cheeks and just like mouth agape, just looking at Dirk, this superhero of a human to him. And Dirk just gave him the time of day. And that's the kind of player in person Dirk was. And he never changed throughout his entire career. All the accolades you just mentioned, all the things that the Mavericks have given to Dirk, he never ever changed as a human. And that's what really stands out about him.
There was no player, because Dirk's my fifth favorite player of all time. There was no player I was harder on than Dirk Nowitzki, because I just knew how great he could be. And so when somebody would tell me, man, he scored 30, I'm like, he should have had 40. Oh man, they won by 6. They should have won by 12. Oh, he won MVP. They lost in the first round. Like, I didn't care. I knew what I wanted to see from him. Man, when he dropped that 50-point game in game 4 against Phoenix, I'm talking about, I almost shed a tear. I was so proud. I was so happy. And then he just continued to grow from there, because he went through it the hard way. He didn't go through it, like everybody else. Like, he lose a couple times, then teamed with someone, got a nice team together, and then they went. No, Dirk took the dirt roads, to that championship. And look at who he went through to get that championship. He went through a smorgasbord of greats, man. Talking Durant, Westbrook, Harden, Kobe, Gasol,
Brandon Roy and Aldridge.
Man, my goodness. The Heatles. He went through the Heatles, for goodness sake, man, to get that title that nobody thought he was going to win. And his team, it was like him and the Temptations. Like, it was amazing, dog. Like, he just blew me away. I couldn't be happier for any other player. Honestly, he deserves all of this.
It was absolutely deserved. It was an incredible time. There was, like I said, there was lasers, there was confetti, there was, montages. They did a whole like mini documentary about the 2011 finals. They had the 2011 finals team mostly there with Jason Kidd, Tyson Chandler, Sean Marion, JJ Barea. They had the custodian, Brian Cardinal. They had Peja Stojakovic looking as suave as ever as Peja Stojakovic could. Dirk and Jason Kidd were obviously there. They just had a lot of guys back. And one of the things that really stood out to me from this was just, I was sitting up in the press box. I had my binoculars, and I was watching Luka watch Dirk's jersey retirement, just thinking like, what does this mean for a guy like this? That he grew up in a time when Dirk was prominent and was there winning MVPs and things, and a European player to do that was very rare for Dirk. And now it's not going to be for a guy like Luka, right? He sees that has seen what's possible and can take that next step and has the talent to take the Mavs there. And hopefully he does take the Mavs there, and hopefully he does want to follow in Dirk's footsteps and try to, make an impact on this franchise. So that's the future. I saw them hug afterwards, and I'm not the greatest lip reader, but I did see Dirk point up into the rafters after when he was hugging Luka, and so it just made me shed a tear a little bit. But there's just so many things. I mean, we talked about it a lot on Locked On Mavs. We did our whole show about it today, so you can go listen to that if you want to hear more about that. But Dirk Nowitzki, absolutely deserving of everything that happened to him, and an incredible win for the Mavericks against the Warriors.
Yeah, and even to your point, you talked about Jordan. I can't remember who said this while they were up at the podium. They were like, when guys overseas thought about, great basketball players, they thought of Michael Jordan. They wanted to be like Mike. After Dirk, now everybody just wants to be like Dirk. He's the one that they're looking at. He's the one they're trying to emulate and be up to, man. And it couldn't be a better person. I think that's what makes this all so much better, right? Because it couldn't be a better human being for this, who just does it differently, walking around in flip-flops, had a weird trainer, doing
the plate, the dinner plate.
The dinner plates. My man showed up with dinner plates with leftovers, son. Come on, man. I love this dude. That was incredible. And so you got that. And then, I mean, even when he won the finals, just how he goes to the back, because he didn't want everybody to see him just break down like that. I mean, it was just amazing, man. Like, he just took the whole long, hard road and his championship is like one of those championships is worth like 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like him doing that, it's worth that many, because how much it means to the Dallas. I know how much it means to you guys, man. But the fact that he went that road to take it, it means just that much more.
Yeah, count it up, scale 1 to 10. That's a 10 championship right there,
10.
right?
Oh, that's a 10. That's a 10.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, you mentioned that Dirk jumping over the scorers table during that 2011 finals. They were showing that footage again. We ran back a interview we had with the director of Mavs, PR, who was there with him in the locker room. It was one of the, there's only 2 or 3 people in the entire world that were there with Dirk in the locker room after that moment. And we ran back that story a couple days ago on Locked On Mavs. So you can go check that out if you want to go listen to that. But a couple more things on this game is the Mavericks ended up taking this game. They played some incredible defense. Luka, 26 points, 8 assists, 7 boards. Someone told me that adds up to 41. I don't know if you believe in numerology. I don't know if you were into all the 24-8 stuff with Kobe and all that, but incredible night. The Mavs defense really is showing up with Maxey, Reggie Bullock, and Dorian Finney-Smith becoming just a trio that can defend really well for this team. Jalen Brunson, Tim Hardaway Jr. coming up with some big shots. This Mavericks team's moving forward. Porzingis hopefully will come back, and Jason Kidd's got this team playing in better than I expected. I think I'll leave it at that. But coming up, we got so many more games on the docket we have to get through. Lance Stephenson,
to make them dance,
went off in a way that we have to talk about. Kyrie Irving returned for the Brooklyn Nets, and a lot more games to talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about Shopify. Shopify is a way for you to help your small business get big. That's what we all want to do, right? We want to take our small podcast and make it big. You want to take your small business and make it big. Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibilities. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big businesses, so upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. You can reach customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integration and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. I'm addicted to TikTok right now. It's really bad, and it's affecting my it's affecting my everyday life. You can also that too, everyday life, including that. You can reach people like me as well. Go to shopify.com/lockedonnba. That's all lowercase for a 14-day free trial to get full access of Shopify's entire suite of features. 14 days is a long time to be able to check out something and all the features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/lockedonnba. Shopify.com/lockedonnba. All right, Big Dave, let's dive into the rest of the slate. We got 11 games on the docket. We've only talked about one of them, so we gotta make up some time here, my friend. The Brooklyn Nets go into Indiana and beat the Pacers. Kyrie's debut for the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets caved, and now Kyrie Irving is back playing for the Nets at halftime, so he got to play in Indiana. But he was overshadowed, at least for the first first half, by Lance Stephenson, who went off for 20 points in not just the first quarter. It went off for 20 points in 6 minutes. He scored 20 straight points. An incredible. He had joined the team 3 days ago. And by the way, this is not, after having covered Rick Carlisle for a long time, this is not a player I think Rick Carlisle would enjoy coaching. But he had an incredible night.
He did, man. I when we did this show talking to Tony East, who does Locked On Pacers, I was telling him he was my favorite player that was back in the league. I didn't even know he was back with Indiana before the last game. I was like, wait, what?
He wasn't until 3 days ago. It just happened.
Yeah. I was like, I can't believe it. I was so excited for him. He said he couldn't even sleep before this game. He said I was just like a little kid. He couldn't wait to get to this game and play. You saw him high-fiving fans out here, man. He loved it. Dude, he was awesome. He had ended up with 30 points, man. I couldn't be happier for Lance Stephenson. He's where he belongs.
It was an incredible just moment where you're just like, I can't. This was a moment in NBA, not history, but like it was just an NBA moment where you just don't get this. You don't get it anywhere else, right? It's just like this is an NBA moment where you're like, a guy signs 3 days. He enters the game with 6 minutes and 23 seconds. I went back and watched it and saw the crowd did give him a standing ovation when he entered the game, right? In the first quarter, gave him a standing ovation. He gets the ball a minute and a half later. So like he didn't even score the first minute he was in. He gets the ball. The crowd cheers again. It's like, when there's energy, when somebody gets the ball, when someone's just everyone's just waiting for that one guy to get the ball. They touch it. Like someone's about to hit 50 and like they get the ball and you hear the crowd roar. It was like that, but he had not done anything yet. He gets the ball. He hits a three. The crowd is just going nuts. This Pacers crowd, we've talked a lot to Tony East, you and I. This Pacers crowd is starved for anything. Right? Like just starved for it. He hits a three. He comes back. He hits a 2-point jumper. Another 2-point jumper. He drives on LaMarcus Aldridge and scores. He misses a step back three. He then pulls up and hits a three. He drives into the lane. He hits a step back three with LaMarcus Aldridge's hand in his face in the corner. Who hits step back threes in the corner besides Lance Stephenson?
Lance to make him dance.
And then with 0 minutes left on the buzzer, he hits a 3 step back and to score 20 points in 5 minutes, basically, in the first quarter. An incredible just outing from a guy that had just signed. It was wild. Is it sustainable? Great.
Maybe.
No, come on, you're not going to do that.
I'm saying, let me finish. I was saying, but his history is telling me no. That's what I was about to say. His history says it will not be sustainable.
History is blowing in your ear saying,
yeah.
We've seen this story happen before.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Kyrie Irving returns for the Brooklyn Nets. They score 129 points. They're back on track. This team is, this team is going to round back into form. They have Kyrie. They have Kevin Durant, James Harden. By the way, Lance was guarding Kevin Durant during that whole stretch too. He was straight up face guarding him. Yeah. But yeah, this team has just opened up a completely different portal of offense, I think, at this point. It's like, Avengers, where Doctor Strange opens up a whole new, he's got the sling ring and opens up this whole new thing with Kyrie, because it just opens up so many things. You got one more guy that's just so competent with the ball. He can do anything, pass, dribble, all that.
I mean, you saw it happen in the third quarter, because actually the Pacers were killing them. You know what I mean? If you look at those numbers in the first half, I think they were shooting 60% from the field, 50% from three. They were incredible. And I think the Nets were shooting like 22%. They got in the third quarter and they were up 19 on the Nets. Since then, from that time on, when they were up 19, they outscored them 67-38.
It doesn't matter to this team. No leads matter to this Nets team, right? Like the Nets shot 5 of 21 from three. Doesn't matter, right? Like they can overcome so many things with those three guys.
Yeah. You can overcome any deficiency, and you see what it is with Kyrie Irving, man. Like you just saw it. You saw it click for him, especially in that second half. He found his footing. He was like, "Oh, okay, I'm better than everybody out here. Oh yeah, I got it now, guys. I got it. Ball, please." He wasn't passing. Like, just give me my one-on-ones. I'll do it like that. And they just absolutely dominated. And Bembry too. I thought he played well for them as well. I thought Bembry played well for them too. But it was all about Kyrie Irving though, and his return. And he looked like Kyrie Irving, man.
Yeah, and so we'll see. I mean, how this team matches up against some of the top in the East, we're gonna have to wait until we see a little bit more from the rest of this squad, I guess, and as they play, and how many away games they have to play, or how many away games they get to play, basically.
And that's what's going to be interesting, because I talked about this before with Wes when we did this. I said I don't know if it's good for them to get the number 1 seed or anything, because I'm thinking about the playoffs with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
like if they have a game 7, they got to be at home. Well, Kyrie's not playing. Like, it's going to be a struggle for them, right?
The thing is, like, a game 7 for them is going to be in May. Like we're on wave 4 of the coronavirus right now. We may be on wave 17 by then.
Right, exactly.
Who knows what the world is going to be like at that point? So,
oh my goodness.
But yeah, there you go.
Seeing it with you.
The Brooklyn Nets get the win. The San Antonio Spurs beat the Boston Celtics 99-97. This one came down to the wire. 2 minutes left. Tatum gets stripped by Derek White. Shot clock violation for the Celtics. Again, this Celtics team, John Krause keeps talking over and over again how the fourth quarter just continues to undermine them. Jaylen Brown comes back the other way, gets called for an offensive foul. That gets challenged by them. It's an unsuccessful challenge. DeJounte Murray for the Spurs. He may be for real. He hit a tough shot against the Celtics late. Dennis Schroeder comes back and drives and hits. Come back and forth. And this Celtics team gave this game away, it felt like, because they had a shot. Jaylen Brown got a steal off an inbounds pass, misses a reverse layup right at the cup, and basically just his quote was he smoked it. He smoked it, was basically what came down to it. There's one thing in this. We're going to all talk about Jaylen Brown and what the Celtics team, lacks in all this, but the Spurs couldn't get the inbound pass. That was the weird thing to me in this final moments, where there's 5 seconds left. The Spurs had to take a timeout because Derek White was trying to inbound the ball, and he couldn't find anybody. He couldn't inbound it to anybody. They call a timeout, and then they bring back Landale. They bring back this guy Landale as the inbounder, Jock Landale, who only played 12 minutes in this game, and he was the inbounder. It was very strange to me that they switched guys like that, because then Landale threw the turnover to Jaylen Brown. He misses the layup. But yeah, it was a weird ending, and the Spurs ended up coming up big because DeJounte Murray is he's doing big things.
Vince, I believe he was 1 rebound away from a triple-double, DeJounte Murray. But dude, that inbound pass was so weird because if you watch it, it just looked like he threw it, just said, oh, you know what? Here, Jalen, I'd rather throw it to you than take a 5-second violation.
Well, they didn't have any timeouts left because Derek White had to take the timeout before. So he was so worried about that, that 5-second call, from the out of bounds.
You'll just say, here you go.
Just at least throw it straight. Like at that point, wouldn't you just throw it straight up in the air? Like
that's exactly what I would do. Exactly. I watched too many comedy movies that says this will work. Just throws it up in the air. If something good will happen, the Three Stooges raised me, baby. That will happen.
By the way, one of my favorite things about this game is the Celtics broadcast was Chris Mannix and somebody else, and they couldn't pronounce Jakob Poeltl's name the whole game. It was Poeltl, it was Poeltl, it was like all kinds of different things. Sometimes they said Poeltl, but then they went back to Poeltl. I thought that was fun too. But the Spurs, man, this Spurs team is not as bad as a lot of people expected this Spurs team to be. What are they right now? They're 15-22. They've been winning some games as of late, 5-5 in their last 10. They're now in the play-in game right now if the season ended today.
Spurs are always like this, man. Like every time I look up, I'm like, the Spurs are going to be a pro. They're going to be a team to contend with, even if it's just a play-in game. They're just like a gnats. They're always nagging at you. They're always hanging around, and you can't name me 3 players on their team. Like nobody can name who's on their team, man. Like you don't know who's out there. You can be like, yes, that's Ulysses S. Grant out there. Oh yeah, sure, it's him. You don't know. You have no idea, man. But they do it every single year, man. That's definitely a credit to Pop.
Poeltl is out there. Portal. Jakob Poeltl's out there. That's the way they kept saying it.
Yakoto. All
right, let's do one more game. Houston Rockets beat the Washington Wizards 114-111. Kevin Porter Jr. has had maybe the weirdest couple days stretch in this is another one of these moments where it's like, this is the NBA, right? Where this guy gets like, he leaves in the first half of a game. He's suspended for the next game. And then he comes back, scores 9 points, but 3 of them are a game-winning, like step back, fadeaway 3-point shot that he hits on an isolation. Kevin Porter Jr. hits. Just a strange Rockets win.
Strange. And it's fun. They came out hot because they came out and they were killing the Wizards to start the game. They went up big on them. So credit to the Wizards for coming on back and making them close because, they're a pretty solid basketball team.
I'm not giving any credit to the Wizards.
No, I'm giving them credit, man. My man Daniel Gafford out there. I'm giving him credit. That's my main man right there.
Bradley Beal should not lose to this Houston Rockets team.
That's fair. But the Rockets been beating some good teams. The Rockets beat the Bulls. And then they went on like a 6-game winning streak. So I'm not going to act like they're just complete trash out here, even though their record does indicate they might be a little bit of trash. But come on. They've beaten some teams. All I'm saying. But that step back, that Kevin Porter, he said, I've been waiting for this moment since the Lakers game. He said, I've been waiting for this moment since then. All right. Because remember that shot he took against the Lakers and everything to win it. He missed it. He said, as soon as it left my hands, I knew it was good. He's like, and if you watch it, you can tell it was such a vicious move, man, and an ugly step back. And it's not like he had a great game. I mean, he had 9 points, like you said. Like, man, it's not like he was killing them out there, but my goodness, he made it look mean and vicious, man. So I'm happy to him, man. That's a happy ending in the NBA right there after what he went through.
And then Steven Silas comes out and hugs him. It was like, this embrace. And then afterwards, Kevin Porter Jr. says he loves John Lucas, who he got in the altercation with that made him get suspended. And so if Disney is looking for more movies, like they have to fill more slots in Disney Plus, like maybe they pull the Kevin Porter Jr. last 5 days story.
In a world
where an undervalued basketball player turns out the biggest.
You don't have it, kid.
Life.
You don't have it, kid.
All right, coming up, let's get into the rest of these games in a new segment we're calling Count It Up. Count it up. We are counting up our confidence meters. We're counting up a bunch of different things about the rest of these games in the NBA. We'll talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me count it up. BetOnline.ag. How much money can you win on BetOnline.ag? It's infinite. I don't know if they have caps on it. Go check out this weekend, Saturday, NFL games to bet on. There is games that matter out there. Let's see. The game that I'm really looking forward to is that Chargers and Raiders game right now. Chargers away, 3-point favorite against the Raiders. That one is going to be fascinating. That one basically is like a play-in game for the wild card in the NFL. That's going to be the Sunday night game. So you can go bet on that one if you feel strongly about that one. You can bet on the Dallas Cowboys, are 7.5-point favorite at the Eagles on Saturday. You have NBA games you can bet on all the time on betonline.ag. Use that promo code LOCKEDON. You get a 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. So you put $50 in, you get $25 extra to put down and spend on betonline.ag. betonline.ag, where the game starts. All right, Big Dave, let's get into our new game we're playing. It's called Count It Up. The Toronto Raptors beat the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
Count it up. Confidence meter. This Toronto Raptors team will finish the season in the not in the play-in.
Oh, my confidence of that they won't be in the play-in.
Because right now they're 7th. They're 18-17. They're back over 500. Siakam's starting to play like an all-star. Sean Woodley said he's playing the best basketball of his career. Sean Woodley, Locked On Raptors host, who's watched his entire career, so he knows. Since November 11th, Pascal Siakam, 21 points a game, 9 boards, 4.5 assists. He is just absolutely on a tear right now. The Cavs, I'm not sure I'm a complete believer in the Cavs right now in 6th. They're, I think, a game and a half difference right now. But what's your confidence meter that Toronto will finish in the play-in or not?
5. My confidence meter is at.
You're right.
I'm right there in the middle, man. I'm right in the middle because they're such an interesting team. Like, they're very well coached and they can definitely execute on the floor and they definitely play defense, have length, have size. Scotty Barnes is vicious. Like, they are really good. It's just the consistency of that team.
Yeah.
They're not very consistent. You know what I mean? Like, one day they're going to be hot from the 3-point line. Next day they can't throw it in the ocean. Like, they're just not consistent. And I'm not sure. I'm just not sure about that team. There's no star, no real superstar on that team that you can lean on. Of course, you got Fred VanVleet. You know, you got a guy like you mentioned, Siakam, like that. But there's no real superstar on this team to make me say, you know what? Yeah, that they're going to be in that top 6. So I'm going to get it at a 5 though, because it could happen.
Yeah, this team I feel like is 2 years away from being like really, really good. And we're like, oh dang, we should have seen this coming. You know, if OG steps up a little bit, if you got Scotty Barnes steps into his role. Yeah, they just got so many young, interesting players. That to me is what I see. Okay. Wouldn't they love a veteran presence to come in and be like a point guard that was maybe from Slovenia and play for them? Maybe they should just send that guy to Dallas instead if they're just not going to use him.
Oh, he's just working. He's throwing everybody out. That man just working, boy. I like it. All right, Nick.
Count it up. Count on a Dragic going into the Dallas Mavericks. But yeah, Toronto gets that win. Milwaukee didn't have Giannis. They didn't have a lot of players, but they still come away with the win. Here's another one. The Bucks release DeMarcus Cousins. They have no bigs. They have Bobby Portis, and they have the guy whose name I'm really bad at pronouncing. Like this team does not have any bigs at all. Brook Lopez is going to be out for the season with that back surgery. What are the Bucks doing with this? Count it up. How many roster spots do the Bucks need?
2.
They need 2 because they're going to make a 2-for-1 trade?
Exactly. They're going to make a 2-for-1 trade. They're going to do it like that. That's actually surprising, though, to me, that they would release DeMarcus Cousins. I thought he was a solid fit for them. I didn't see him as a bad fit. I thought he was playing all right. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And it's weird that you say, because literally today I just say, you know what? I haven't heard anything out of DeMarcus Cousins. That's a good thing. So everything's kind of working out for him well in Milwaukee. I guess not. I guess they did not like what's going on.
He had 15 and 10 and 3 steals with 2 made threes in this game. And then he goes to the locker room and they're like, hey, guess what? You're gone. That's very strange to me.
Yeah, something happened. Like that's just not the norm. Like something definitely happened, man.
They got something working, transaction wise, or something happened with DeMarcus that we just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
going with that. Just based off history. I'm going with that. That's what I'm rolling with, man. But I like DeMarcus Cousins, though, man. I hope he ends up with another team.
The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Orlando Magic 116-106. You had Joel Embiid going off for 31 in this game. You had Korkmaz, Curry, and Tobias Harris all with 20 points each. You had Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid playing together at times in this game, which was just an odd thing for Doc Rivers to do. Doc Rivers is back. But the thing that I want to count up, how impressive is Danny Green's Tony Snell game? 24 minutes played, 2 shot attempts, both of them threes, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 turnovers, 1 foul in 24 minutes. How impressive. Scale of 1 to 10. Count it up.
On a Tony Snell scale, I'm going to give it a hard 8. I'm going to give it a hard 8 because Tony Snell was just out there jogging. All right. So he was just getting cardio.
He's just getting cardio.
He was like, yeah, I just need to get some cardio right here. He actually took shots and he had a foul. So that let me know he was a tad bit engaged in there. He tried his best, but to only have 2 shots though in basically 24 minutes, that's not good. I mean, yeah, I'm giving him a hard 8 though, man, especially because it's Danny Green is also like Tony Snell. You're like, okay, he had a bad game. Danny Green, you expect him to hit a couple threes at least, right? Like, you expect him to do something, get a steal. It's Danny Green, get a steal or something, man. Yeah, that's a hard 8, baby. That's a hard 8 for Danny Green. My goodness. Oh.
Do you think you could put up as Tony Snell if you went out there? I'm not sure you can get 24 minutes out of me in the shape that I'm currently in, but.
Oh, man, I got a hard 6 fouls for you, baby.
Yeah, we didn't even get that. They only got 1 foul out of Danny Green, too.
Yeah, see, you're getting all 6 of mine in 2 minutes. You're going to get all 6 of them fouls, and they're going to be all worth it.
Cole Anthony, 26 points, 5 assists, 7 boards in this game. He continues to be the player that they drafted, that they hoped that they were going to get for the Orlando Magic. Magic missing a lot of guys. Next game, the OKC Thunder get beat by the Minnesota Timberwolves. This one's easy to count it up. I saw in this game Patrick Beverley. You know Patrick Beverley, right? He's not Steph Curry. He's not the offensive juggernaut that we know as, like, he's not James Harden. He's not one of these. Throw up a 3 and not look at it go in. He threw up the 3 and he turns around and he's over here, like he's like running back on defense because that's what he does best.
Yes.
Count it up. How confident are you if Patrick Beverley throws up a 3 and turns around that it's gonna go in? Because to me, I'm at a 2.
I'm at a 9.
You're confident it's gonna go in?
9.
If Patrick Beverley, you're
in.
Trusting Patrick Beverley that if he turns around, he knows it's going in.
Because when has Patrick Beverley ever done that? That's my point. When has Patrick Beverley ever just said, I am going to turn around and run back down and get on defense after I shot this? No. If he does that, that's letting you know that you might want to put some money on this because this is going right into the bucket, all right?
You don't think he would swaggy pee it?
No.
He's not going to swaggy pee on it right there?
No, none of his career says that. That dude used to be a scorer before he got to the NBA. He used to be a straight-up scorer like that, man. But, man, yeah, if he's doing that just to get back on defense, that should tell you something, kids. Put your money on that. Bet the house. That joint's going in.
Minnesota gets the win. Go listen to Locked On Wolves. Do you want to hear more about that team? The Atlanta Hawks get a win over Sacramento with like no one. They barely had no Trae Young. He was a late scratch with an injury. No John Collins. No DeAndre Hunter still out. No Bogdanovich. He was out. Reddish was questionable, but he ended up playing in this game. They got a good game from Kevin Huerter, 25 points, 11 boards, 5 assists in this one. He was, and then a bunch of other players had double figures. The Kangs are basically at full strength right now, right? They have their Halliburton, Fox, Barnes, Bagley, Buddy Hield, Davion Mitchell. Like, they have all their guys, and they lose this really undermanned Hawks team. It's not the first time that they've lost to an undermanned team right here. Count it up. How many Kings players are getting traded before the trade deadline in 5 weeks?
I'm going to say 3. I think 3 players would be traded on that team. Bagley. I'll say Bagley. I'll say Tristan Thompson. And I'll say Harrison Barnes. I say those 3 players will.
Tristan Thompson's getting traded in more than one way.
Hey, I'm not touching it. I'm not going there with you. Nick, not going there with you, man.
Tristan Thompson's got to trade his publicist. Is what Tristan Thompson's got to do.
Why are you on Instagram like his publicist? I can hear that phone call right now. Why are you on Instagram? What are you doing? Put the phone down. Put the phone down, Tristan. Put it down.
Yeah, to me, Bagley and Buddy are like the 2 we've just been waiting on, right? Those are the 2 for me. I'd count it up and say 2. I think those 2 guys get traded at some point. It feels like we've just been
always
waiting
in the trade.
I know he's like he's like the Aaron Gordon. It seems like now he's like the new guy that always gets thrown into trade rumors.
Oh man, it should be interesting, man. Like, yeah, and it's funny because I told you I really like watching the Kings, or as me and my friend John Sabine call them, the Kongs. Well, I really like watching them, man.
You went different vowel.
Yes, you go with the Kongs. That's how we roll, baby. So I like them so much because I love De'Aaron Fox. He's always been one of my favorite point guards. And I love Davion Mitchell, man. I like that kid.
Yeah,
the
defense he brings
there, man. Oh, it's nasty, man. And Halliburton as well. But they got a log jam going on at that position at point guard, man. And I think Halliburton is going to be the one that they go with in the future. He's going to be the one for that, man. But Yeah, they're just fun to watch because one day they'll be great, and then the next day they'll lose this game like they did tonight. It's so strange.
Matt George would like to know if you want to do Locked On Kings.
Oh, I already told Matt. Hit me up. He already know how I feel. I love them Kongs, baby.
All right, we'll make it happen. I'll send you the transfer papers. You and Tristan Thompson. Transfer over.
Put the phone down. Just put it down, man. Nothing good will come from that. Nothing. Just don't do it, Tristan.
The Miami Heat in the most Heat culture win ever, maybe in their history of the franchise, win 115-109 against the Portland Trailblazers. Trailblazers were without CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard in this one. Yeah. The Heat were without Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Dedman, Duncan Robinson was questionable. Gabe Vincent did not play in this one, and Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, and Nurkic from the Blazers side were all ejected in this game, and the Heat still end up with a win. They get 25 points from Max Strus in this one. Scale of 1 to 10. How much of a Heat culture win is this?
Oh man, this is a 9. Like everything about that. You have the ejections going on, and the main thing that makes it a Heat culture win, your leading scorer was Max Strus. That's your main thing right there. Shout out DePaul University, my man Max Strus. 7 threes, all right? And he led the team in scoring and carried you to a victory. It's so weird. They had, who is this dude guy that's running around out there?
Kyle Guy. He was a Kings. He was on the Kongs. You should know him.
He was on the Kongs. Man. Look, Kyle Guy's out here, and he's actually having a solid. Every time I see him play, he's making a play for them. I don't know what it is about the Heat. They just go get these people, and they go get these guys who everybody just says, no, we're finished with them. Then they go to Miami. They get a taste of that culture. And my God, man, it just turned everything around, man. But this is definitely a 9 for me as far as the Heat culture win, for sure.
Omer Yurtseven. 14 points, 16 boards starting against Nurkic. I mean, it's just what.
Come on.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. I know I'm the Dallas guy, and I'm supposed to hate the Heat and everything they do and not believe in the culture, but I don't know. A win like this, you're like, okay. Yeah. On the other side, though, how many trash cans, counted up, how many trash cans is this Blazers team? Because, man, I feel bad every time I listen to Mike Richmond, because he just sounds real sad over there.
Oh, man. Well, here's a virtual hug for you, boy. I apologize, man. I know that's tough, brother. But how many trash cans on 1 to 10? That's a hard 6, there, man. That's a tough 6 for them, man. Because I mean, I can't give them more than that. I mean, because you still got Damian Lillard, even though he's been going to be out for the next 3 games and everything, but you still got him. You still got McCollum. Who's the guy like Simmons? Everything
Anthony Simons, yeah.
Simons is really, really nice. Like they got really good pieces, man.
He's throwing a couple good games together.
And Larry Nance Jr. as well, man. And Norman Powell. I like the trade when they got him from Toronto. I thought I was going to see bigger things from him as well, man. But he still puts up points and he scores. And you look up and they're like, wait, they're losing? Because I mean, look at this. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in double figures. You're like, oh man, that sounds great. And then you look at the other score and you're like, nope, this is the Max Strus game. You're not going to be able to contain him. You're like, come on, this crazy, man.
Yeah. So there you go. Miami continues to go in one direction. Portland goes in another direction. There we go. Count it up. That's what happened. All right, last one. Utah Jazz versus the Denver Nuggets. The Utah Jazz coming into this game. Gobert, Mitchell, O'Neal, Bojan, Clarkson were all questionable going into this game. I think they split on that one. I think half of them played, half of them didn't. Ingles was out because of health and safety protocols. Gobert did not play in this game, but they did get O'Neal, Bogdanovich, Mitchell, Rudy Gay, and Clarkson all played in this one. Bogdanovich went off, 36 points, 13 boards in this one. Only hit 1 3, which is just wild. Wow. He had 11 free throws in this one. The Denver Nuggets get a massive game from Jokic, 26 points, 21 boards. Our no dunks friends would call that big beef right there. He's getting some beef on the boards. 11 assists, so he gets the triple double. Only 5 turnovers in this one. But man, like this season for the Nuggets is just so brutal for this team. They're without Murray. They're without Michael Porter Jr. It feels like they're missing guys left and right. And how many points does Jokic have to score counted up for them to win games like this?
Oh, he's gonna have to drop 40 pieces. It's just what it's gonna have to be. Like, and he's got to accept the fact that it's gonna have to be that. He's got to give up some of those assists. And he's got to give up some of those rebounds. He's gonna have to drop 40 something for them to have that chance and win these games. I'm talking not to compete, because he can do all this and have a nice stat line and compete. But I'm winning. He's gonna have to be MVP and drop 40.
Is it weird that this Nugget season feels like the Kobe season when he had like Kwame Brown and Chris Mims starting next to him, and he had to go off for 35 every game?
Yeah, and he did what he averaged. Like he averaged that, like for the season, he averaged 35.
Right, like he had Smush Parker in the front court with him, or in the back
but
court.
I'm saying, like, it reminds me, like, because I was thinking of Jordan the whole time I was saying this. Like, I remember Mike when he would score like 48 and they would win, like, because he had to. Because he had like Granville Waiters next to him. Yes, that's a real basketball player. Granville Waiters is a real name. Like he had that next to him, man. Like it was really, really tough. But you got to do that if you the man. If you the man, you got to put the ball in the bucket at a very high clip, bro. It's just what it is.
I can't believe I dropped Chris Mim, and you somehow dropped a more obscure player in that breakdown of that game we just did.
I got a lot more too. We got a lot more shows to go. I got a lot more obscure.
Oh, I bet. There you go. Looking forward to doing more shows with Dave Watson. We're the new duo coming at you on Thursdays every single day, breaking down the NBA games. There you go. That's counted up. That's Locked On NBA. Thanks for making us your first listen every single day. Now go make either Locked On Mavs or Bulls your second listen, or you can go listen to Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q and Lee Sterling, giving you expert analysis and insight from every single game, every aspect of sports. Go check it out. It's available and free on all platforms. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On NBA. Boom.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Good stuff.